Hey friends, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a full day in my life as a fourth year dental student. I graduated from dental school in less than 2 months at this point, but today is a look at a very productive day for me at this point in school. These days, my mornings start before 7 a.m. when I wake up in the dark next to Daisy Bell. Daisy is almost 2 years old at this point. Can you believe that? The first step of every day for me is caffeine and food. Today I'm making some black coffee in the Chemex. One thing I'm really interested in is espresso. I think after I graduate, I'm gonna buy an espresso maker and learn how to make my own lattes at home because I've recently found a love for them. But for now, it's just black coffee in the Chemex and 4 eggs scrambled with some cheese. This morning, I keep it simple, partially because I don't have many groceries and partially because my breakfasts seem to get simpler the older I get. After breakfast, I fix my hair and wash my face. I don't know if any of y'all do this as well, but sometimes when I don't want to get my entire body wet in the shower, I just lean over the faucet and dunk my head and face. This lets me wet my hair so that I can style it. My hair is always pretty crazy, but today I make it work. Midway through this process, I go ahead and get Daisy's breakfast ready for her. She eats well and she loves her meals, so this is always a time of the day that I enjoy because I get to see her happy. After both Daisy and I have eaten, I finish my skincare and oral health routines before we can leave. Men, we are old enough now to take care of our skin. For years, I didn't have a skincare regimen, but my lovely girlfriend works for Skin Farm in Nashville, and she got me set up with a bunch of their products to improve my skin. In the few months that I've been using these products, my skin has improved a ton. Get on it, fellas, seriously. Once the skincare is done, I use my Waterpik water flosser. I use conventional floss as well, but the water flosser is my quickest and easiest option, so it's great for the morning. Then I brush for at least 2 minutes. I use stannous fluoride toothpaste and a powered toothbrush with extra soft bristles on my brush head. This protects my gums from toothbrush-induced gingival recession, which I have experienced in my past before I knew how to brush. I then get Daisy strapped up and we are off. And while filming this shot, I realized that I have stepped in dog poop, which is amazing. That's what I get for filming in public. Basically, every morning I take Daisy to daycare. This is an added expense in my life, but I look at it as part of my living expenses during dental school. If you know my story with Daisy, you'll know that I did not plan on getting her. She just sort of came into my life when she did. I want her to exercise and have fun during the day while I'm at school, so I take her. On my morning drives, I always do scripture, prayer, and reflection in the Exodus 90 app. These morning drives are actually really relaxing. The prayer and coffee is genuinely something that I enjoy every day. Daisy's daycare is called Paw Paws in Memphis, so if you're going to be a student at UTHSC and you want your dog to be taken care of, talk to Becky at Paw Paws. She has taken care of my girl for almost 2 years and has always done an amazing job. After dropping Daisy off, I'll head straight to the campus of the UTHSC College of Dentistry to begin setting up for my morning appointment. You've seen me set up a cubicle if you've watched my videos in the past. This process always takes time as you end up walking all over the clinic to grab the various things you will need, and it is something you learn to just adjust to when planning your schedule for the day. When people ask why dental school is difficult, this is one of the things I always mention. As a dental student, we do everything for ourselves, including setup and tear down of cubicles and infection control. My morning appointment today is being done in conjunction with my clinic partner, Smith. We're completing interocclusal records for a conventional complete over complete denture setup. Our appointment this morning goes very smoothly and includes trimming our upper and lower wax rims until we have them properly contoured for our patient's mouth, marking his midline, taking a bite for mounting with Megabite, and selecting denture teeth, including size, shape, and shade. Everything goes well, my patient is happy, and Smith and I move on to the post-appointment process. This includes writing a detailed note and completing all relevant codes in the computer. It also includes typing up a lab form to receive the denture teeth, tearing down the cubicle, wiping everything down, and packing up all of our supplies. At this point in the day, Lane comes over and offers to take me to Chipotle for lunch. The answer is always a yes to Chipotle. We get in his truck to go, and then I forget to actually film our food because I was so hungry, so here's a shot of my empty Chipotle bag. After an intellectually stimulating conversation with Lane, we head back into the building, and I go straight to the lab. Since I don't have another appointment with a patient this afternoon, I decided to begin the lab work for my denture case from this morning. Now that we have our properly contoured wax rims and the patient's interarch relationship with Megabyte, I can move on to mounting the case. In prosthodontics, we use a device called an articulator to mount up stone models that represents the patient's upper and lower jaws and teeth. This articulator then lets us see how their teeth/jaws come together, and we can work behind the scenes to build dentures or crowns for them. Before I can mount these casts, I have to trim the stone in the back portion of each one so that they can come together properly. This process is sometimes quite easy, but in this case, I have to do a lot of trimming of the stone to allow the casts to articulate together freely without hitting each other. It's a meticulous process that I do very carefully in order to not remove any essential stone. Once there is space between the casts, I can move on to mounting. The maxillary cast gets mounted first on an occlusal stand. I prop up the distal portion of the wax rim before mounting to allow the setup in the articulator to more accurately represent the relationship of the patient's mouth. Once I mix the water and powder of the mounting stone, I begin stacking it onto the cast. This is a process you start learning as a first or second year dental student, and I remember being absolutely terrible at this when I first started. I'm still not a magician at getting a clean mounting every time, but I've improved drastically at this. The most important thing is mounting the cast in the proper position. Less important is doing it cleanly without tossing stone all over the articulator, yourself, and the lab. But sometimes we have to compromise. Once the maxillary cast has been set, the occlusal stand gets removed, the articulator flipped, and the mandibular cast gets sized up. The most important thing here is making sure that the wax rims are nice and tight in the Megabyte material. You want to make sure that when you mount the mandibular cast, the wax rims are held together tightly so that there's no issue with the resulting occlusion of the case when you go to do your wax try-in. I mount this one properly, and then since I'm posting this to YouTube for the world to see, I spend about 5 minutes with some sandpaper over the sink, sanding down the mounting stone to get everything smooth and pretty. This step is entirely unnecessary, but it makes the final product look nice. After all of that hard work in the lab, this case is ready for denture teeth, which I'll set in the next couple of days. I head home to my apartment to change for my workout. Because I'm a D4, I'm finished with most of my clinical requirements. That means that often, on days like today, I won't have to see 2 patients. This leaves me a lot of extra time to work out, which I greatly appreciate. I've been trying to put on muscle for years, but I honestly haven't been dedicated enough to hitting the weights and eating enough food to actually pack on mass. It's been tough with my body type to keep muscle on, but I do love to get in the gym and lift, so this is something that I try, emphasis on try, to do most days in the week. Today I'm hitting a pull day, so I'm doing back, biceps, and traps. Oh, also, shout out to my cousin Lauren Watkins, who is an upcoming star in the country music scene. This workout was quite effective, and it was short. These days, I try to keep my gym workouts around 30 minutes because 30 minutes is an easier commitment than 1 hour, so I end up working really hard and hitting a ton of volume in a short 30 minutes, and I don't feel like a ton of my day has been lost to spending time in the gym. It's just the way I've been doing it lately, and I'm not saying that this is optimal. After the gym, I go to the package room where I know a package for me awaits. Greatest feeling in the world right here. Once I'm home, I hit the post-workout stack, which includes a scoop of C-Bum's Cinnamon Crunch cereal protein powder and a scoop of creatine for muscle growth. I use this mixture to wash down the 3 supplements that I take daily for my health, which are fish oil, vitamin C, and vitamin D3. Now I get to open up this mysterious package, and it actually contains the first new piece of equipment that I've bought for this YouTube channel in a long time. This is my new video light, and it's called the Aperture Amaran 60D. It's a small and relatively inexpensive light, but it's a massive upgrade from what I've been using since D1 year. I plan on doing YouTube for many years into the future, and I try to invest into my channel whenever I can. This light will help me more properly expose and light my YouTube videos, which I love because I'm a huge nerd about creating videos. I still need to buy a softbox for this light, but it's a great upgrade already. My favorite feature is the ability to brighten and dim the light from an app on my phone. Super dope. I'm back in the car and heading out to pick up Daisy from daycare. Once again, I really do enjoy these drives, and my drive to pick up Daisy is when I pray my rosary. After picking up Daisy, I make a quick stop at the store to grab some groceries for tonight's dinner and food for the next couple of days. After putting up the groceries, I work on cooking dinner, which is simple but delicious. Today on the menu is air-fried potatoes along with ground beef, all covered in sugar-free ketchup. I also enjoy a side salad, which is 50-50 mix, freshly shredded feta cheese, and this delicious balsamic dressing from Primal Kitchen. As I said earlier, I'm trying to gain muscle, which means I need to eat more. I don't always get in enough food, but when I can cook on a day like today, I eat well. After dinner, Daisy is sleeping adorably on my bed, and I sit down to study for our class's exit OSCE examination, which is tomorrow morning. We don't have exams anymore, so I've gotten really rusty at studying, but I power through as much of this as I can tonight. I've been so blessed to spend 4 years in dental school. Even though it's not quite over yet, it feels in a weird way like it is. I'm so ready to move on to the next phase of my life, but sometimes I stop and think about what a great experience these 4 years of learning my craft has been. I want to thank my parents, by the way, for all their hard work because they are the reason why I am where I am. I hope to make everyone in my life proud with my work in the future, and I'm just excited to begin my journey as a dentist. Anyways, thank you all so very much for watching this day in my life, and if you want to see more, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for making my content creation dreams a reality for me. God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next one.